You're listening to I Wanna Believe Radio with your hosts, Dan Holroyd, Bob Penny, and Elmer Bolster.
All right, everybody, as promised, you're back here with us after a short break, and we are here with our guest, Jerry Jodlowski. And Jerry runs a convention in Lansing, Michigan, above many other hats that Jerry wears, and we'll let him talk about that at some point. But, Jerry, welcome to the show. Your How to Halloween event is just fantastic. I've been honored to be part of it since day one that you met one of our Ghostbusters, but welcome to the program.
Yeah, welcome, Jerry.
Hey, thanks, guys. I appreciate being on and the Paranormal Now radio network. I was thrilled when Dan told me about it, and I'm glad to be a part of it. So thanks so much for having me.
Hey, no problem. Thank you.
Yeah, the thrill is all mine. For sure, believe it or not. And again, you run this great How to Halloween convention. Let's go back to where you came up with this concept and how this all started.
Talk about the event.
Yeah, and what you do with this event.
Sure. I mean, really, the start of it was building some cool props and things for the local trick-or-treaters in our neighborhood. And that was really just the fun of doing that, having these huge crowds of kids. You know, ironically, one of my very first builds was this UFO that I put in my driveway that looks a lot like the UFO that you guys have on your homepage. So it's almost a perfect visual
Awesome.
of that. Just the classic Spielberg-esque / B-movie, UFO with the aliens coming down. And if you can imagine, I used these two 13-foot patio umbrellas that I painted silver and I sandwiched together to make the saucer shape, put some legs on it, and I actually had two flying saucers, added some lights and sound, and that was actually my first physical build that I did back in 2008. So wow, 10 years now, a decade ago, and then just having more and more ideas. So that was the impetus for the event, working with a neighbor of mine, a friend. I love the fact that our neighborhood turned into almost like a Universal Studios / Disney World theme park for a night. And I just wanted more, really. It was just, I thought it was a great idea. And I pitched that concept to the people over at the Lansing Center. They're called LEPFA, which stands for Lansing Entertainment and Public Facilities Authority. They're the people who run the Lansing Center, right, along with the Lansing Lugnuts and the City Market. They thought it was a great idea and gave a Joe Schmo like me a chance to do it, and here we are in our 5th year of How to Halloween. It was born that way.
Well, sounds like Halloween at Jerry's this year, man.
Right.
Sounds like your neighborhood's quite the place.
So you and your neighbor kind of, I guess, as you said, you guys were friends, and did you have like a competition or something going with each other that kind of got this going too, or how'd that work out?
Yeah, we would kind of feed off each other, and we would also bring in some other friends for expertise. We'd call on some people. There's just so many people who would donate to it and be generous of their time to make it really cool. I no longer live in that neighborhood anymore, so
they kicked you out, huh?
Well, and that's what the bummer is. I don't have any trick-or-treaters anymore where I live. So actually, How to Halloween now is my Halloween, which is even better,
Sure.
So in that way, it's great. But I do love the people that I've met through it. I think I was telling Dan the other day that, my life has just become so enriched and full from all these people that I never would have met otherwise. So including you guys today. So it's been an amazing opportunity.
That's great.
Well, I know that, when I first met you and we first got involved, this is because you met Anthony Schneider, one of my Ghostbusters, out at Hearstfest, and next thing I know, he brought this thing to me and said, "Man, we've got to go to this," and really nice guy, and he's invited us, and I was blown away when I first showed up, that first time out with you, because here I see this bat bike that you've constructed, which, again, you are, I want people to hear this. This man is a master at taking PVC and all sorts of items, as he said, that he constructs into these vehicles and these things that he builds. I was so enamored with that. I remember leaning on it at one point, and he's like, "Oh, hey Dan, don't lean on that because it's PVC and there's some cardboard." And I actually, he had made it to where people could sit on it, but
Right.
I was so totally fooled. I thought that thing was a real tubular frame and everything.
Right.
Jerry, you're a master.
Yeah, thanks. But yeah, of course, it's all held together with duct tape and and clothespins and whatever I can do.
Isn't everything
Right.
always
It's
held
fragile,
together with duct
but
tape?
It looks good. Yeah, but that was interesting. I met Anthony out at Hearst Fest a few years back, and I mean, I hate to say, I didn't know that the Kalamazoo Ghostbusters existed, and it was such a happy accident to meet up with him because I guess I was kind of feeling out the scene. That was one of my first conventions or shows that I had gone to see who was out there and see who might be interested. And then sure enough, Anthony was just there as walking around and doing his thing. And yeah, we got along well. And sure enough, you guys all came in force that year. I invited you and you guys showed up in 2015, which was our second annual Out to Halloween. And a huge hit. And I'm like, oh, wow. And it's just grown from there. So how lucky, I am for that. And it was great. So
we're lucky to know you, my friend. And that comes straight from my heart. Like I said, we just talked about you tonight, even before we came here and, we're going to do the show with you. We were discussing, making sure we're there both days for you and, doing what we do. Being that you allowed, my coalition with Eric and I and all the other Ghostbusters there, and we always want to give you a big thank you because we feel lucky to be part of that event. And we've met subsequently. We've met other connections and people through that. I met another paranormal group, because I do the real paranormal thing, obviously. And
right.
You had somebody there, and that turned into something great. We've met some costume maker people and some arts and crafts folks and others. I guess without sounding too corny here, throwing thank yous back and forth, but really the honor is ours because Lansing has opened up its heart to the coalition as well, due to you. And we've been invited to Lugnut games and other things because of you. And I want people to understand, too, that your event is amazing. The kids in there have the time of their life. I mean, he's got anything that you could possibly imagine. If you mention it, you turn around one corner or look at another booth, and there it is. I was, again, pleasantly surprised at how family-friendly this event is because when I've looked at other places in the past doing Halloween-themed type things in the genre, it doesn't seem to be too family friendly, and Jerry's, does that well too.
So that means Elmer, you're not invited.
Right.
Aww. It's been amazing the people that have come to the show and the people who participate in the show. I mean, ultimately, what How to Halloween is, it's a celebration of creativity. It's people just rolling up their sleeves and building stuff and bringing it to this huge show and tell that, of course, all ages, from the kids to the kids at heart can come and see and lose yourself in just this sensory overload of stuff that we fill up in the Lansing Center, this huge exhibit hall, and there's colors and sound and music and cosplayers. Of course, we have vendors and exhibitors, and you learn how to make props. There's a lot of making tapes and how-tos, a lot of demos. You can meet experts on everything from, let's say, horror makeup to, sewing your costume or adding electronics. So I love the fact that it's got kind of an electronic part to it in that we really promote STEAM, the science, technology, engineering, art of design, and math. From that point, it's learning, but under this umbrella of Halloween that who doesn't love that? I mean, it's universal.
And the thing is, Halloween, I mean, I just get all giddy. I mean, Halloween is my favorite holiday. I mean, I think what you've created there is like a Halloween Makers Guild.
That's exactly right. I think for people who know what a Maker Faire is, we are a Halloween-themed Maker Faire.
And you are bringing out the inner child in, essentially, anybody who attends, because how many of us, although we're adults and we're over 40 and whatever, but how many of us secretly want to dress up in a costume and do some cosplaying or make our own, proton packs or build this and build that, we all want to do it, but, a lot of times it's like we don't have the know-how or we almost feel kind of like, it might be kind of dorky of me to do that, but at least when you're around all these people and you come to this event and you see everybody doing it, it's like, wow, it's a celebration. It sounds incredible, and I can't wait to go, man.
His Batman display.
It is the justification of being able to do these things, which is so great. I needed a reason
and get away
to do
with it.
And now I can really throw myself into it all year long, because it really is all year long.
Right. I'm sure the planning for you, yeah.
And then you're right, who doesn't have those memories of being young? Some of the best times I had were those vivid Halloween nights, and my mom made Batman costume out of long underwear.
Oh, yeah.
And
it's part of that creativity,
just a cloth cape. And I thought it was the coolest thing ever, running around with the cape flying, and it was great. Now I can share that with my kids. And,
absolutely.
I think the big thing is really showing them, don't be afraid to think big. Go outside of the box. Just be bold and courageous and do something cool. In that way, I'm so happy to be able to share it with them, and I think there's a lot of other people who kind of jumped on board too, which has just been amazing. I can't believe the way it's grown in our 5th year. So
well, he's done some amazing, like the Batman setup you've done a couple times was just fantastic. And then I wasn't able to make this, last year's event, which, I'm sorry about, because I had some other things, some health things and some other things going on. But, I saw pictures of the Death Star thing that you put together, and I was wowed, man. I was like, whoa, now I'm mad I wasn't there just to see that.
So you mentioned, 2 big builds I did. One of them I'm kind of known for a little bit is I made a Batmobile tumbler, a full-size Batmobile, that underneath it all is my PT Cruiser, but you'd never know by looking at it. In fact,
wow, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, if you Googled Batman theme Halloween, my video is the first one that comes up, and I think I have like 175,000 views on it.
Sweet.
I mean, it's
that's great.
Gone slightly viral, and that was just a really amazing project that I did. I mean, I threw myself into that, and thank God it worked, and that really got the juices flowing, and I was hooked from that point on. And then what Dan was describing was this Death Star that I built, because the 501st comes out, the Star Wars characters, and I wanted to do something. I mean, those guys talk about amazing costumes and craftsmanship and attention to detail.
Oh, they take it serious.
I'm thrilled to be friends with them now, and to be able to see them out at other shows and give them a salute, and I can recognize who they are just in their stormtrooper.
Yeah, I guess they're okay.
And,
they may not be Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
but
they may not be
okay,
Ghostbusters, but they're all right.
That's right. They're a different ball game. But one of the things I did do is I built a Death Star. It was a 10-foot, if you can imagine, inflatable, almost like a beach ball. That is hung up high, and I projected an animation of the Death Star on it, and it looks pretty good. It looks pretty real, and it fires lasers, and it's just a cool looking thing.
That's phenomenal, man. I gotta check out pictures, and actually I've gotta Google the Batmobile.
Yeah, I was just trying to tell him real quickly with the mic off while you were talking that he's got to look at the pictures, because I looked at that and I thought, man, where the hell did he get a prop from? The movie. I'm like, damn, and you made that. Anthony's like, oh no, he made that. And to jump off of that, Jerry's a car guy, so I'm sure he knew I was going to get to this part and bring some of this up. The other thing that blew me away, and I first walked into the building, I see this Jurassic Park car and a Jeep and this, like, I swear to God, it was like an 80-foot, I'm sure I'm probably exaggerating, Tyrannosaurus Rex thing, and there's this Jurassic Park set up. I'm like, holy crap, my kids would love this. And I'm thinking, well, crap, I love this.
Right.
And
who cares about
like, well, that's Jerry's car. I'm like, what? Oh, yeah, Jerry did that too. And I'm like, my God, does this guy, what can he do? I think he's been to Mars probably too. We just don't
So
know.
was that the PT Cruiser all dressed up too?
No.
No, now this actually is so my daily ride is a Dodge Durango.
Okay,
2004
yeah.
Dodge Durango.
Love Durangos.
And, and what I did is I turned it into the classic tour vehicle from the original Ghostbusters, 1993 Ghostbusters. I'm sorry, not
Jurassic
Ghostbusters.
Park, right?
Jurassic Park
Yeah,
film,
there we go.
1993. The tour vehicles that were automated. So I made mine look like that. That's originally a 93 Ford Explorer, but,
Yep.
I kind of used a little creative
Right.
license and made my thing. And then I also have it's actually 20-foot inflatable T-Rex that, that one I purchased. That one I knew I wanted to do this project. I had no place to store something so big. I'm like, what's the best way I can do it? I did have that T-Rex custom made, but I mean, what a showstopper. I mean, so what I do is I almost kind of recreate the breakout scene from Jurassic Park originally, and it's my daily ride. So I'm driving around. I actually just got pulled over at the drive-thru today at McDonald's, and love that I can see people and they take pictures and stuff like that, and it's good promotion for the show.
Sure.
So.
And I wanted to kidnap his car because along came a moment where my Durango, my Ecto, was all red, and Jerry a couple times had said, man, I could really do something with that car, man. We could really make it pop, and I believed him, but I think I kind of stalled him a little bit, and I apologize for that. It's not that I didn't want you to do it. You know that. It's just I felt guilty because somebody wanted to do something. When finally came time, I remember hitting you up and saying, hey, man, I would still want to do the car. And so in that period where we actually exchanged vehicles and Jerry came to me, I got to drive his Jurassic Park Durango around, and I fell in love with that Durango because they had a lot of things mine didn't, even though I love lightning. Right. And I remember telling him, like, you sure you don't want to trade? Because next thing I know, my neighbors who have gotten, this is the funny part, who have gotten so used to seeing Ghostbuster cars at my property, you're like, now all of a sudden this guy's driving a big Jurassic Park car. And I actually had several neighbors come up like, did you change what you're doing? Or are you like the Ghostbuster Jurassic Park division? Or what are you? And I'm like, it's a long story. My buddy's working on my car, and so it's a beautiful car, and love the car, what he's done with it. But Jerry, about brought me to tears because when he brought that car back, there's a lot of things that he did on that car I didn't expect. And the big thing was our coalition, which Bob can see. I'm actually wearing my uniform because I did an event tonight. I didn't expect that on the hood. And he kind of parked a little bit past the corner of my house, and it was raining. He came out, and I was about speechless. I just looked at it. I really had to hold it together. I about started bawling because I saw that emblem. I'm like, oh, my God, no way. And you did such a fantastic job, Jerry, and you are an artist because, I know Kim has hit you up for some work for her Jeep, and a couple other people are going to be talking to you here soon because everywhere I go, everybody's just so amazed that that's all hand-cut vinyl, and you did that by hand. So I want to thank you because they love that car.
That Durango is quite the celebrity around Kalamazoo here, Jerry. I mean, you wouldn't be surprised. I mean, just everyone wants to take pictures or get their picture taken by it, and even when he parks outside my house, the neighbors are walking their dogs. It's a
Jerry Jodlowski original. I tried to get him to sign the car, and he put a couple of initials on there, you cheater, and the back part of the hatch because it was almost like he was like the Barris. Of my Ecto.
That's awesome.
I mean that, Jerry. I mean the car is very well loved, and it's all due to you.
Well, Bob and Elmer, the story is, so I see Dan out with this vehicle. I see pictures and stuff like that, and he had made an Ecto, but to me, it was his Durango was mostly maroon, and I'm like, oh, this is one of the founders of the Great Lakes Ghostbusters Coalition. He needs a ride that really kicks in because sometimes you couldn't quite tell. You need to have the white of the vehicle to really start screaming Ghostbusters. And I was like, that's a parade vehicle. This is a vehicle that goes to hospital visits, for charities, that kind of thing. And if there was something I could do, I was like, you know what? Dan, I couldn't not do that project. it was bothering me ever since I'm like, you know what, we need to ramp this up. And
it looks
that's
great.
what
I mean, it looks fabulous.
You know, I just did some vinyl work for it. The funny thing is I don't have a vinyl cutter, so what I do is I print off whatever I need to, all the patterns, or on just a regular inkjet printer, and then I tape together all the pages, and then I use an X-Acto knife, and I cut it out on the vinyl. And honestly, it's inexpensive. I mean, it's the cost of let's say a roll of vinyl is $25 or something like that. I mean, I did Dan's vehicle for less than $70 is what it cost me. It's a lot of time. You know, it takes a lot longer, but you know, it's a labor of love, and it came out great. I was happy to do it. A lot of people are asking me to do stuff. I can't always. You know, I'm
don't
so
have the time,
busy.
man. You're busy.
Usually,
I mean,
usually
absolutely.
maybe during the winter time or that, you know, the slower season, I can try to do some stuff. But it was just, you know, what a blast. What do I get to do now? I've done multiple Ecto ones. I've you know, Lansing Batman, he wanted to make a bat truck, and I was able to he has this really great silver Dodge pickup truck, all decked out with just tough-looking fender flares and mag wheels, and he just wanted some bat logos on it, and now it looks like $1 million, you know. And you know, we just did the Mystery Machine was our big build last year.
That's awesome.
So we found this 1970 Dodge A100. I saw it on Craigslist, and it was listed in Wisconsin for $300. It was just a shell of a vehicle. And I have a buddy named Aaron Aikman here in town, and he's just a ace mechanic who loves these movie cars, and we just dove in. We just did it. He dropped in an engine. You know, I was happy to be part of that process, so I was able to learn mechanics and at least just kind of experience what you see on TV on the Velocity Channel or whatever it may be. You know, those shows that I love so much. And yeah, we made a Mystery Machine, and who doesn't love that?
Absolutely.
And I was honored again that you guys asked me to come on over to be there with you guys and Ryan Holmes, you know, because you guys are officially the Lansing Ghostbusters. You and Aaron and Ryan, along with Aaron's Ecto. And again, the connection back to How to Halloween is that you have Aaron's vehicles that he's built and some that you've worked on with him. They're on display there at your How to Halloween thing. And you know, Aaron, I plan on trying to have him on the program, too, at some point to talk about all his builds. But he did a fantastic job on that hearse, too.
Yeah, we lucked out in that when the Ghostbusters reboot movie, the trailer came out, I called my friend Aaron Aikman, who he already owns. He had built this dual coffin car called the Reaper's Ride, and the best way to describe it is it's like Grandpa's dragster from the Munsters, and
awesome.
but times two. Right. You know, it's got a dual coffin look to it, and he had built that, and I saw him out at a show, like at a restaurant. They were just doing this small parking lot show, and I screeched my tires, turned around, and I said, I got to meet this guy, and you know, we hit it off right away. He ended up leading the Downtown Lansing Zombie Walk, which also is paired up with my event, and we went from there. But so the Ghostbusters trailer came out, and I said, Aaron, you own that hearse. It's already white. And I said, look, I'll tell you what, give it to me for a while, and I'll make put the vinyl on, and he ended up building a perfect rack. And for literally in 3 weeks, we made a pretty decent movie-accurate Ecto 1 reboot vehicle for next to nothing, all scrap parts, few $100, and it just looks great.
That's awesome, man. That is, I mean, phenomenal. And like I said, I think I've seen some of your work up just from because I think you've got some pictures posted on the How to Halloween event that we have linked off of the Paranormal Now website.
Yeah.
And it's phenomenal.
And we do have your link on there. We have your information, but you know, I wanted to have you on tonight, and I want to thank you for coming on last minute.
Thank you so much.
I wanted to make sure that we talked to you, and it was important that I gave you that time to talk about this event. Tell everybody all the details about where they can find you, when the event's happening, and anything that's attached to it.
Sure. So once again, the event's called How to Halloween. It's a family-friendly festival this year. It is Saturday and Sunday, October 13th and 14th of 2018. It's taking place at the Lansing Center, and it all kicks off at the Downtown Lansing Zombie Walk. You know, if you want to find out more information, the website is how-2halloween.com. Once again, how-2halloween.com. And we're also active on social media. You can check out all the latest updates on Facebook, and yeah, it's inexpensive. There's a family deal for buy 5 get 1 ticket free. Tickets this year, general admission is only $8. So man, you can just have such a good time without breaking the wallet. Bring the whole family. And thanks for the opportunity to pitch it, guys. And it's growing every year. Last year was a record turnout. We're hoping for even more this year. So it's just something to promote for downtown Lansing, to bring people down. We've been lucky enough to have our sponsor of Celebration Cinema on board. They've been so great to us, along with a few others like LEAP and MSU FCU. But come on down and be a part of the fun. At least save the date. Once again, Saturday and Sunday, October 13th and 14th of this year. So
thanks for doing this event, and we will be there. I know.
Yeah, I think I had begged you at one point to, because you're pretty busy. I said, I wish you would do 2 of them, maybe one there and one here in Kalamazoo, because I think Kalamazoo is starved for that type of thing, Jerry. They don't have any type of Halloween thing like that over here at all. But we'll definitely get together when I see you, obviously, or talk to you way before the event. But when do you do the zombie walk? Is that the same day that we're there on the Saturday, or is that a different day?
This year we're going to be kicking off with the zombie walk on day 1. So it's going to happen on Saturday, October 13th. We ask the zombie horde to assemble at the Lansing Center at 11:30. And then we invade the city at noon, high noon. We head out to the Capitol for just an amazing photo op, and it's free to participate in the Downtown Lansing Zombie Walk. We ask that you bring a non-perishable food item for the Greater Lansing Food Bank, and then so we have a horde of a couple hundred zombies come out too, and then they're invited back to the event, and where there's also other charities we try to raise money for, so there's a lot of good opportunities there, but and there's a lot of things to do and that kind of thing. Right. So yeah, so it's actually 2 events in one.
What you do means a lot to a lot of people, and I agree with you. The same thing has happened to us on our end, Jerry, that I don't think a truer statement could have been said, that when you put yourself out there, you get a lot of stuff back tenfold, and
absolutely,
you deserve all the goodness that you get, because you're always thinking of somebody else. And I'm honored to be your friend, and I'm glad to know you. And we're going to be there, folks, doing our podcast both days. Mm-hmm. Get your butts out there, October 13th and 14th.
That's right. Prepare to be a kid. Just bring that inner child out.
Right.
And just be prepared to be a kid again.
If you show up and you've heard this broadcast, you show up and you tell me, I'll give you a Snickers bar. All right? I can at least do that.
Just tell them you heard Dan, or you heard I Want to Believe Radio, and
right.
We will definitely
I'll give you a treat.
Get you a treat.
But thanks, Jerry, so much.
Yeah, thank you, Jerry. We appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, guys. Yeah, anytime. Looking forward to seeing you guys in October.
All right, we will be there. You have a good night, my friend.
So until next time, Elmer.
Keep your eyes to the skies.
And happy haunting. All right, take care, guys.